And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and I bring you some Digimon TCG content today. And today it's a deck profile, and we're joined today by Holy Dunsparce, Holy Terriermon, Riley, formerly known as, he's known as a few variety of things. He's also a member of Legion, for we are many. And just to state for the record today, one of our teammates, Tepid, who doesn't feel he's going to say that line, will repeat that line for us, and I'll record it, and it'll be our catchphrase for We Are Many, especially announced by our US international friend. But yes, so today we're doing a deck profile for my box tournament they held on Gordo Games server, where Riley went on to get second place, only losing one game, and it was 2cc. So let's get into the profile. Let's get jump right into the good old information. And don't forget, if you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. Okay, so here we are with Riley here. Hi Riley, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So, we're here today for a deck profile for your second place Green Yellow Rush Spice shenanigans that you took near enough all the way except for one fatal battle against 2cc, which is 9 times out of 10 is an unwinnable battle. But I gotta say, from when I watched it, he nearly took it.
Yeah, I've been playing like a bit more 2cc with this deck and learn a lot, so I know more about the matchup now. I'll explain how it kind of works at the end of the profile.
No worries. Alright, if you want to take us through the decks, I will sit here quietly in amusement because I think the deck was amazing. It was hilarious to watch.
Alright, so let's start with eggs. 4 copies of Upamon. This deck kind of actually chunks through security because of option cards and just other stuff. People want to kind of be counter aggressive because you're a rush deck, so running 4 copies of Upamon just gets you a lot more card draw. And yeah, it just does quite a lot for the deck. On to actual rookies of the deck, which there's a lot of. 4 Sukaimon. It's just cheap, it's 2 cost 3. Everyone plays it. You also run the 4 copies of Salamon. Essentially the same card.
Makes sense, just all the vanillas. Cheap cost, memory choke.
Yeah. Keeping up the cheap cost theme, 4 copies of Falcomon. Probably one of the big reasons that Yellow can actually do this rookie rush. 5k, it gives Yellow a chance to have a rookie that can contest the 1 cost to evolve blockers, which is insane.
Yeah, it's like a Roromon and Lylemon, isn't it, from Green? Things like that. The fact you've got those big bodies you can throw out and blockers can't do a thing these days.
We do also run the 4 Roromon, 4 Lylemon, because we have the green engine in here for option cards. Just having like so many ways just to contest the 5k blockers and also memory choking the 2 memory is just absolutely insane.
And do you see this getting better next set with obviously more 5k blockers coming into effect?
Yeah, this is something that's probably never going to change about this deck, because most people are going to be running the 5k blockers over the 6k ones, just because it's cheaper to evolve and lets memory choking happen more easily. So this lets me just contest everything, like pretty much every single color. Like, there's a card that's going to come out later that I'm going to cut, because it's purely in there for red and blue, because they don't have the 6 cost, the 5k blockers yet, so get to that. Next up, anyone who actually played Rookie Rush in BT1 probably recognizes this card, but not many people know what this does, which is 4 copies of Kudomon from BT1.
Yeah, when attacker draws a card, is it? Is that the one?
If you have 4 or less cards in hand, draw it.
I know there's some criteria. I've never actually played the card at all, but I remember it some form.
Yeah, this was played back in Rainbow Rush, and that was the thing, along with Tapirmon for the other colors. You chug through a lot of hand very quickly, if you don't see certain cards, so this is just a nice way to get some back. And also, having this with an Upamon underneath it just gets you so much, because you can obviously order it, so if you have 4 cards, then you could Kudamon, then Upamon, and go back up to 6.
Yeah, I did notice for a Rookie Rush deck and the fact how normally they don't thrive very well on drawing cards except for Davis and that. But yours seem to be cycling an awful lot of cards where you weren't struggling all that much to keep things flowing.
No, this deck definitely does not like struggle with that. Continuing on with card cycle, we have 4 copies of Lotmon. Lotmon. Again, it's just more cycle. You get to look at security. You get to go down a bit at security, so just put stuff like Upamon online and other cards that require it.
See, I had somebody mention to me about Pulsemon being better than this, and I considered Lotmon to be better because of the fact that you technically draw 2 cards off it. The Pulsemon, yeah, can become a vanilla at some point, and obviously, 2-drop vanilla and draw a card, which is nice. But I think Lotmon has a place more times than not. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely. Pulsemon, it's something I considered for this deck, but then everything else around it was just kind of like, I preferred it more. Like, Kudamon is probably the main thing people are going to look at and be like, okay, we'll cut this out for the Pulse. Yeah. I just like it because it's like, if for some miraculous reason, like, it hits like an option card and actually lives, you get more value off of it. You get like the 2 card draw off of it. It is 1 KD. It is 1 KDP, but if it does live, it's sitting pretty.
Oh, exactly.
Next up, 4 copies of Salamon from BT. Is it BT2? Yeah, BT2. The Recover Salamon.
Absolute no-brainer there. You're not really doing much in the sense of blocking there. You just literally swings, die, recover.
Yeah, this entire deck is just swing. Having Recover, and also, because again, you chunk through security quite a bit, puts this online good majority of the time. So, I mean, most of the time you're not going to be hard playing this, but in some situations you do. Final rookie of the deck is 2 copies of Bushy Agumon.
I mean, we
Only...
expected to see it.
Yeah, it's the game finisher. Most of the time in this deck, you're not going to be given 5 memory because there's no memory tamer. But in the off chances that you do, you can just play them down, swing for game. Yeah, just the game ender that no one expects, like with the hybrids.
It then begs the question: are we going to see Blinded Ray coming out of the options here?
Yeah, you are.
I mean, if anybody has a Bushi, you guarantee to have a Blinding Ray because he costs 5. It's like I need something to pay for him.
The one champion we run in the deck is Fortarumon. This is the card that's probably going to get taken out next set. As much as it is. Yeah, for Starmons. This is literally only here to contest 6k blockers, and next set 6k blockers become a lot not exactly the best. More stuff is just focused on 1 cost because now every color has one, so every color's going to be running them, which means you're more likely to see the 1 cost blockers than the 6k. So this just doesn't really have its place as the thing that contests them. Purple is like the only color I can actually see as being a big thing with because they still run that 6k. Maybe also yellow matchups because
they still yellow emphasize on it as well because they like to, well, this set they like to harm themselves. Next set they don't do it as much, do they? They get their nice little added.
No, it's more about swarming. Next set yellow is more about swarming with Lord Nightmon and just getting as many bodies as you can out on the board. But yeah, this is probably going to get cut this next set, but it's been good for this set. The one mega that we run, 4 copies of Puppet.
And I don't think I ever saw a game where you didn't see this card in multiple masses. I don't think there's one point I never saw this card in hand for you.
Yeah, I Puppet was kind of glued to my hand during the tournament, but that's not even an issue. Like, this card is just the stealer of games. Being able to like Puppet lock people for like 2-3 turns is absolutely absurd. Especially with like this deck of how aggressive it can be, and also the fact that most rookies are just cheap. That you're just playing more rookies means you can spam boards. Like, I took this to a different tournament afterwards. Just because I was able to Puppet lock my opponent for like 3 turns and had like 9 Digimon up board at some point. Against like 2cc, and it's just like 2cc can't do anything against it. Like, as soon as I have 9, you had to hope like quite literally every card in their security was like an option that killed an unactive. Then on to option cards. 4 copies of Blinding Ray.
Makes sense. You're not too fussed about your security. By the time you've lost it, you might as well just gain as much as possible and have a very cheap puppet, if anything, or just boost you for days.
Yeah, definitely. Cheap puppet, getting bushy Agus for game. Um, Technically, in some situations, this can be card draw because occasionally I do use it just to get the 3 security if I'm missing cards that I need for the Upamon. So if my opponent's like hitting me at 4 security, I can just blinding ray to get the Upamon line to get even more card draw, get the recovery from Salomon that I need, and just have that extra for gaining 2 memory. I think it's very nice about it. And final card in the deck is 4 copies of Needle Spray.
Yeah, who cares about Flower Cannon these days?
Yeah.
Needle Spray is just so much better. The fact it suspends and adds something to hand and gets rid of the block, and that's all a Rookie Rush was.
Yeah, that's the big reason this, like, I'm running Needle Spray over Flower Cannon is because of the entire blocker thing. Also, this adds to hand. The main doesn't specify blockers, so.
And it makes Puppet Money even better, because obviously the fact is if you hit that from security, you suspend something, add it to hand. If you have enough memory, you can suspend it the other one and then Puppet right after if you really wanted to, so you can pin an entire board.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Needle Spray. Definitely over Flower Cannon these days.
But yeah, that was the the entire deck for it.
Any particular things obviously you're looking to change that? We know there's the Starman. I know there's a Spiral Masquerade, but basically, not many people are gonna like you next set.
No, not many people out. Spiral Masquerade just peeks this deck and just says, "Let's take Rookie Rush and add a Shine Greymon mechanic into it," and it's just like whoever thought to do that was an absolute madman on the team.
Remind me, so it's 3,000. Is it for every Digimon that's on the board, or what?
It's a full cost option card. Give a Digimon minus 3,000 for every Digimon on board.
Yeah,
so if I like have a really decent like starting turn of just like, say if they pay like a TK first turn, I can just go Tsukaimon, Falco, Aurora, and have something in raising area. If they have to end their turn by bringing out a Mega, they're immediately in danger of getting spiraled.
Yeah, that is literally it. It's a scary thing to deal with. That's true.
Yeah, plus also the fact that I can just, as long as I got 2 of them, I can clear off any blocker I want, because it hits the 6k for both blocker thresholds.
That's true.
Something that's going to be scary next set is actually in black, which is Mechanorimon.
You're talking about my boy, restand, block.
Yeah, that's the big issue, but
Spiral gets around that.
Good stuff. Yeah, Spiral gets around that, Starmon gets around that. Another rookie that I'm considering next set is Cutemon. Because green, as much as green I found during the tournament was an absolute free matchup, didn't have much issue with it. Green can still kind of be a somewhat of a problem, because of how quickly they can accelerate, and obviously if I can't do anything, if I can't kill them before that, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's one of those, you have to be ahead all the time to be in a winning position. That's the main point for Rush.
Yeah, so Cubon essentially just slows them down by a very big degree. It means they can't use any Digisorption, they can't use Hidden Potential Discovered to reduce things.
That makes sense.
It's just very good.
And what would you say is the worst matchup for this deck that you've come across so far from testing?
Worst matchup? Probably, it's definitely like Megazoo, 2CC. It's just the decks that run a lot of big stuff. Just because normally you don't get the potential value of a rookie potentially living in security. And they just have the big options that just blow out boards.
Yeah, because I mean, Volcanic Dramons and things like that aren't played that much these days, but the idea of them against this sort of deck is terrifying, and Alter S and things like that.
Yeah. Also, another card that is kind of scary next set is also Takumi Aiba. A lot of people are going to be playing it just because it's free card draw.
Yes,
and it also adds the tax on my rookies, which I'm not happy with.
Yeah, funny we were speaking about that. I was just speaking to Tepid a moment ago. He's like, is there a space for it? It's like, yeah, throw it in there as a one-off. Just a one-off, just a randomly. It's draw power. It's a pseudo Mallow Myotis mod effect, whereas you get it on a swing. Because generally,
Yeah.
in this kind of matchup, for instance, like a rush style, like against Mallow, you would die and he'd give memory up, and that's the general consensus to it. So it's an interesting card. There's a lot of interesting cards next set. Let's be realistic. It's going to be a eventful one.
Definitely. Yeah, this deck is just kind of one that also gets like better with time. Yellow has always been known for having exceptional rookie lineup, which is why stuff like BT in this format, Wargreymon has done so well with the Angelomon combo.
Oh, exactly.
Just because you get to play absurd stuff like Pulsemon for free, Lucimon for free.
And then you've got the next set where you've got Lord Nightmon or Crusader, which I'm going to refer to it to, where she can play one of her warriors out. So play out the Nightmon, which lowers by 4k, I think it is, and then you've got the
and if you're not playing Lord Nightmon, playing Lord Nightmon with it, you're just playing a level 3, and it's like doesn't even matter if it's not level 3. You can just play Starsmon. You can play like Pulse, gain more.
It's even worse though, because if you get both triggers, if you get an Angelomon and a Lord Nightmon, you get the Nightmon comes out for 4 kilo, and then you get a Starmon comes out for the bants of it.
It's Lord Nightmon is very absurd. An issue with Lord Nightmon decks, like during BT5 in Japan meta, because I play it, was finding the ultimate lineup was a very iffy thing that people couldn't really figure out too much, because there was people obviously had to play Nightmon because it's Lord Knight.
Yeah, obviously.
And it's the big target. And then people were like kind of unsure about what to do for the final slot, because people still wanted to play Wargreymon because it was absurd. The card's just absolutely bonkers, but then also Angelomon is a big contender now.
Yeah, just that added aggression, because obviously your whole thing is about thriving with Crusader or Nightmon, having the bigger body, because all turns you gain 1,000 for every Digimon that's on your side. So just getting the added pluses for the Angelomon from the Crusader one itself, it's like where do you kind of cut the losses there? Do you go for get rid of the Warground for the DP reduction, even though he's such a strong candidate?
What people ended up doing with it was, I believe, 4 Knight, 3 Wargrowl, 2 Angelwoman. People got kept at that happy mid ground because you still had it for when you needed it.
Yeah, I guess it falls into how, because like it's similar to this set really, but it's obviously with a different top end of it. As you had people that emphasise more of the recovery side, you went full Magnadramon alongside the Wargreymon. You forgot about slashes, whereas the other side you had people going full slash Wargroundmon, maximise that as much as possible. So I guess it goes down to what your playstyle is. If you really want to have more, you want to go wide in swarm as much, maybe you'll maximise more on the Lord Nightmon and the Angelwood. If you want to go for the DP reduction, control Lord Nightmon, Wargroundmon, slashes, the old faithful packages. So it'd be interesting to see how this all turns out and how much nonsense we have to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that BT6 the deck also does get some improvements. V6 is a very good set for Yellow-Green Rookie Rush, because Yellow actually starts to get good champions for once. But it's a shocker, but it does.
Oh, I mean, it's not like you got the good level 5s and the 3s, not like you needed any more.
Mimic and Bellucci is something that people consider for this deck. I don't think it's more Bellucci and Mimic are more for the Mastemon package. Just being able to play them off the Mastemon kill is much better. The main champion I'm going to be adding to this deck is 8mon, just because it's an 8k body on a level 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Like the fact that it's a champion that can contest like a good majority of ultimates in the game is just absurd.
We're in for a fun ride here. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things coming out on our way, and it's going to be interesting to see how we differ. Because, like you said, you play in both metas, so you've been able to see how we differ to the Japanese meta. I'd like to think we do differ in some ways. It might just be the fact is we're a little bit more simplistic on this side, and we just like to blow things up with Gaia forces and just generally aggressive.
Kind of not really. Like a lot more decks over here are more like mixing hybrid colors. Japan's more about sticking more to one color mainly, with like occasionally having text with others.
So what you're saying is we're the flavor, they're bland.
Pretty. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that.
I'll take that statement, alright, people, with flavour over here. You've heard it here. This is a person who plays both of them. Flavour for us, bland. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that mono life. But no.
Yeah, like security control kind of just became a thing, and it was like people were kind of seeing it like even as early as BT1, even like 1.0. I was playing security control, but it was more of a blue-yellow package deck.
Yeah, I did see somebody trying that. Well, I saw a couple of people playing that because everybody went red, yellow, really got on the bandwagon for it. But there was still a few people slipping between the racks and just literally playing the blue, yellow stuff. Because I mean, Coitus Breath, hands down, is a great card, and people underrate it so much because it's not destruction. But you know how hard it is to build a stack in this game and keep it.
Yeah, it is really bad. I mean, especially now, and it's like even with like future sets, it's just going to get harder and harder. Red, yellow gets Transcendent Sword next set. BT6 they have all of the the Three Musketeer cards.
How do you see yourself faring next set with Supreme Cannon being a thing? Because I severely rate the card. I mean, it's a 5k remove, 5k or less, as long as you have a Garurumon and Omnimon, which is stupidly easy because we're going into a set that's filled with Omnimons.
Yeah.
And Garurumon's a theme deck as well, so, I mean, I'm curious. Is it a problem?
Supreme Cannon, I want to say it's kind of a problem. People in JP meta started seeing the Z like the Garurumon tribal deck. Kind of like halfway through, which means early format, this deck just decided to take off. People sort of originally also saw BT5 as the death of Rookie Rush because of Takumi Aiba. But then, again, Yellow Rookie Rush was just like, no.
Yeah, I found that to be a thing with anything. Nothing's like, prominently speaking, Rookie Rush has been around since sets 1. I mean, okay, we can count numerous decks that go against the whole archetype of Digimon. You know, there's 2CC, there's Megazoo, there's Rookie Rush. It's played in a fashion where the game isn't supposed to be played this way, and that's not how they designed it. They wanted you to build towers, you know, build into things, digivolve, or play like normal people. But clearly, we're not normal people by any means, and we like to break games. And they've tried no end of times to kill Rookie Rush with so many things, and it just keeps coming back.
It's because they keep just printing generic support. There was even some stuff that I'm considering BT6 for this deck is Pulsemon Bulkmon, because that as a combo, just having a champion combo that is security attack +1 and jamming. Like a good majority of BT6 decks I've seen aren't running it, but it's just like it's an option to, if you have it, to go Pulse Bulk, and then it's just like cool. I have a champion security attack +1 jamming in Rookie Rush.
I mean, it's all,
do you want to do that?
All the fun stuff right there. When you start, I mean, blue was a terrible one just purely because of the Vmon jamming. If you're giving anything with security attack +1 at that kind of level to 3 or 4, you're in for a bad day.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, that's the deck profile here, as we've gone through, and we kind of went off in a tangent and discussed all the flavors of different metas and that. Any shout outs you want to do for anybody that helped with the deck testing wise? Anybody that helped craft it, or are you going to just take the full credit?
I mainly looked at JP Meta to see if during BT5 like Yellow Rookie Rush, because I wanted to do a pre-build for it, so see how it would actually fare in BT4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the person who made it, but it was essentially a very similar deck to this. I think the only card actually from BT5 that was running was Spiral Masquerade. So I just made a few tweaks in there what I thought would be better and replaced the spirals with the Eel phrase, and that's how I came up with the deck.
Perfect. And so, who's been your main punching bag? Who have you honestly abused with this deck the most for the testing wise?
Testing is. I'm gonna be honest. I took this deck into a tournament, made it 2 days beforehand, and did 0 testing when I went into the tournament.
I know. I did. I realised because you obviously you was very reluctant to share. So I was just like, I'm making it a point to jump on in the games now.
Yeah, you did make it a point.
I mean, I'm sorry, you kept winning. I'm going to go to top tables, and you kept end up on top tables. It's clearly a rule. But I mean, all in all, you played a very strong tournament. Even if you did build a deck of players beforehand, you played a very good tournament. You played it, from what I saw, you played it very methodically as well. And obviously, coming second to 2cc, which is known for being a rookie rush destroyer, I can't say you played it to the deck to perfection. So it was a really good tournament.
Thank you, Ash.
And if any of you are interested in being a punch bag going forward for Riley here, by all means, BT5's on its way. So he'll happily slap you with rookies on repeat. There's no issues with that. It's what he does for warms and fuzzies. Funsies.
I'm not that much of a mean person.
It's okay. So it's kind of what happens in this game. I'm a firm believer that you should play against every single deck, no matter if you find it to be toxic or not, or anything like that. Because I don't think there's no such thing in this game as a toxic deck, because it's a deck. People enjoy it. People like different things. It's like, I know people enjoy playing 2cc. I know people think it's a terrible idea. Why would you want to play that? It's so boring. It's like, well, maybe people just like playing to the RNG. Maybe they're a gambling addict. Maybe they like playing luck on a regular basis. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let them do their own thing. This is what this game's about. You express yourself with different decks, and you try different techs, and you have your favourite Digimon. And, you have people like, let's take for example Alan, our resident postman, the Scotsman. He loves his theme decks. He won last night with a Greymon deck. Obviously it's more relevant this in BT5, but this is the beauty of this game. There is so much flexibility and so many different decks, and there's a lot of things we can take on board with it. And I'm looking forward to see what spice we have coming in for the next sets when us English people can catch up, because bad times.
Yes.
All right, so
Personally, that's going to be interesting.
Exactly.
I'll see what I can come up with.
Well, we look forward to seeing this, obviously, and when you do come back on top with this monstrosity again with all these new changes, we'll get you back on here to update all the folks. But from our side here at Gordo's Games, we're going to sign out here. As again said, thank you there, Riley, for joining us today. Well done at the tournament. As I said, played a blinder. You got a couple of decent pulls as well, I believe, in your pack, so it's always a win. And as per the norm, let's get digital, let's get going. Thanks for tuning in.